Alright kids, in this video we're going to be learning how to measure our egg for our KNEX vehicle. Now what's important is to remember that we're going to be trying to build a passenger compartment for this egg. So we have to know how tall an egg is and we have to know how wide an egg is. Okay? Now, couple things to keep in mind. Eggs come in different sizes, just like people do. So you don't know what egg you will be getting for your car, so you want to build your compartment or your passenger area on your car to accommodate any size egg. Okay, you might get a big egg, you might get a small egg. Alright, but just like the engineers design cars to fit tall people as well as short people, you're going to have to design your car to fit tall eggs and short eggs. Okay, skinny eggs and, well, wide eggs. Okay? Now, in order to do that, you're going to need to measure the height and the width of your egg. Okay? Now, the height will be the longest part of the egg from the longest side of your egg. That will be your height. And the width will be from side to side. Now, it doesn't matter where you measure your egg, because an egg is a circle, which means no matter where you measure across it for the width, it's going to give you the same distance. In other words, it's the diameter of the circle. So no matter where you're measuring, okay, it's always going to be the same length. Alright? So, now the other thing is this. It's not easy to measure a round object with a flat ruler. You could try doing this and estimating here and there, but it's not going to be accurate. And you want to be accurate to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. Okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to learn how to make a set of calipers. Okay? We're going to make a set of calipers so we can measure very precisely this round egg. Okay? Because we want to make sure our riders are comfortable. Alright? So we're going to make a set of calipers. Now, man has been using calipers for centuries. And what you're going to need is you're going to need one yellow connector and another yellow connector and one gray rod. This is all you need, okay? And what you do is you put your yellow connector on, slide it all the way back, and then put your second yellow connector on, okay? This yellow connector will always stay in place all the way back here. This one is designed to slide, okay, to go back and forth. Alright? So, now, let me show you how you use this. Because this will measure very, very precisely, you are going to be measuring to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. Okay, you're going to be measuring to the tenth of a centimeter. Okay, and you might have to refresh yourself or remind yourself what a tenth of a centimeter is. Remember that centimeters, okay, when we look at the centimeters on a ruler, 1 full centimeter is from here to here, and each centimeter is broken up into individual millimeters. So halfway here would be 5/10 because there's 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. So if you were halfway, you would be at 0.5 of a centimeter. If you were right here at a full centimeter, you would be at 1 centimeter, or you would be at 10 millimeters. Okay? Now, if you went past 1 centimeter and you ended up at the halfway point between 1 and 2 centimeters, then you would be at 1 and 5/10 of a centimeter. So in other words, this is 1 whole centimeter and this is 5/10 of a centimeter, or 1/2 of a centimeter. Maybe when you measured something, you went all the way up here and you went past the 2, and then there was 3 marks past the 2. So if you were 3 marks past the 2, you would be at 2 full centimeters and 3/10 of a centimeter. Okay, so that's a little review of how to measure to the 10th of a centimeter on a ruler. Okay, but let's show you how to use the calipers. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how you would use your calipers to measure. Okay, how to measure with calipers. All right, and it's a very simple process. Okay, you leave this connector in place, and then you take your egg and you put it inside here, and then you just close it up until the egg can slide in and out. You just close it up, okay? And what you have now is you have the length of your egg, and you can take this opening, and so you can take the opening and you can measure it on your ruler. So when you measure this opening, you can see how long the egg is. So in this case, what I'm looking at is I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full centimeters and 1, 2 millimeters. So this would be 6 full centimeters and 2/10 of a centimeter. And I would write that like this: 6 and 2/10 of a centimeter. Alright? And that's how I would use calipers. So basically all you do is you set the calipers on the object you want to measure, pull the object out, and then measure the opening of the calipers. Okay? Again, now we'll show you on the egg here. Let's say we wanted to measure the width of the egg. We would just take our egg, put it into our calipers. Notice how I have it tight up against here. Slide this one down, and make sure you're right here at the seam. You don't want to be down here because you're not going to get an accurate width. You want to be at the thickest point of the egg, okay? And so when I measure that, okay, I slide it out, and then once again, all I have to do is take my calipers and measure the opening. And in this case, when I measure the opening, what I see is I see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5/10 of a centimeter. I see 4 full centimeters and 5/10 of a centimeter. Okay? So I would write that as 4 and 5/10 of a centimeter. Okay? Now what you're going to do is, because you want to be able to fit any egg into your car, and you want the riding compartment to fit any egg, you're going to have to get the mean for both the width and the height. Okay? You're going to need to get the mean. Now remember, when you find the mean for something, first you're going to add the numbers, okay, the numbers that you have, and then second, okay, you will divide, okay, by the number of add-ins. By the number of add-ins, okay, or the numbers that you added, okay? So anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to practice that right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice how to find the mean for a data set. Alright? So, here we go. Let's pretend I measured an egg. Okay? And the first egg that I measured, I'm going to measure a total of 4 eggs. Okay? The first egg that I measured was 6 and 3/10 of a centimeter. Okay? And we're talking the height, or what you might want to call the length of the egg. Okay? And so then we take and we measure another egg. This egg's a little bit smaller. It actually measures out at 5 9/10 of a centimeter. We measure another egg, and it measures out a little bit bigger than the other ones at 6 5/10. Okay? And then we measure our final and fourth egg, and it's a little tiny egg, and it only measures out at 5 4/10 of a centimeter. All right? So now what we want to do, if we want to find the mean for this data set, we have to first add them all up. All right? So we take all of these and we would add them. Okay? 3 plus 9 is 12, plus 5 is 17, plus 4 is 21. And again, it's adding of decimals, so you bring your decimal down. It's 21 is what we came up with. Again, we have 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 9 is 18, plus 3 is 21. Regroup your 2. And then we have 5 plus 5 is 10, 6 plus 6 is 12, 10 plus 12 is 22, plus the 2 is 24. Okay? So now we have 24.1, or 24 1/10, okay? Double check our measurements, double check our adding. 6 plus 5 is 11, 11 plus 11 is 22, plus 2 is 24. So our math looks pretty good, all right? So now what we need to do is we need to take the sum and we need to divide, okay? And we're going to put 24 in here. And then what we'll do is we have 1, 2, 3, 4 add-ins, so we're going to divide by 4, okay? And then we're going to ask ourselves, how many times does 4 go into 2? You can't do it. We have a decimal point, so we're going to bring it right up here. And we ask ourselves, how many times can 4 go into 24? It can go in 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. Subtract, and we have 0. Now we're not done yet because we're going to the nearest tenth of a centimeter, so we bring down that 1 and we ask ourselves, can 4 go into 1? No, it cannot. Alright? And so we have to annex a 0. Bring it on down because we're going to round now to the nearest tenth. Ask ourselves, how many times will 4 go into 10? 4 will go into 10 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. And now we subtract, we have 2. So our partial remainder is good. Now we can round to the nearest tenth. 0 asks 2, what do I do? 2 says you stay the same. So the mean for this data is actually kind of neat. It actually comes out to 6.0. Alright? Centimeters. Alright? And so that would be the mean of this data. Alright? And that is how you're going to establish the mean measurement or height, length, and width of this egg for your car. Okay? If you have any questions about this, you can ask your teacher how to do it. Okay? Alrighty. You're on your own now.